Okay, now we've just set the saddle up there, and it's not quite in the right position. It's a little cocked off to the side. So how do we know if the saddle is going to be in the right spot? The next step we're going to do is we're going to settle that saddle into its home spot where it needs to be, where it wants to be on the horse. And at the same time, we're going to push the pad up off of the withers so we get some air into the withers. So once we start to cinch up, it's not pulling the pad down so tight across the horse's withers. We're going to get some space in there. And at the same time we do that, we're going to grab the horn and rock the saddle pretty vigorously and let it settle so that the underside of the pommel settles right behind the shoulder blade. And there's a depression right here behind the shoulder blade, and I want this part of the curve of the bar underneath the pommel of the saddle, I want that to settle right in that little depression behind the shoulder blade. So here's what that looks like to position the saddle into its proper place. I'm going to rock the horn as I push up into the bottom of the pad. So now the saddle is kind of settled. It's harder to rock now because it's settled into the spot where it was made to be. Okay. Plus now I have some space in here at the withers. All right. So our next thing here is we're going to drop down the cinches. We're going to let the cinches down, and I'm already here on the right side where the cinches are put up, so that saves me a trip around to be able just to drop the cinches from over here. Now I want to do with the cinch the same thing I did with the saddle pad. I want to look at it, make sure there's no mud stuck to it or briars or stickers, and I want to run my hand across it just to make sure there's nothing there that's going to rub into the horse or grind into him during the ride that's going to cause a sore or distract him or upset him from anything that would be rubbing on him there. Then I can see about where I want that cinch to be, just a few inches behind the elbow. So that tells me that the saddle's in a pretty good place for him. And if I'm using the same saddle on several different horses, I may have to adjust the cinches while I'm here. So I want to push that cinch up under, and the middle of the cinch should be just a little bit this side of right between his front legs. Okay, that way when I cinch up on the other side, it's going to pull it up to the center, so that middle of the cinch is right down the center line of his belly. Okay, so this one's a little bit short. The center of that cinch is a little too far to this side. I use a latigo on both sides of my saddle instead of an offside billet. I use a latigo so that I can saddle or unsaddle from either side. I can adjust the cinch from either side easily. Probably need to come down one more hole there. Okay, so we can make all these adjustments while we're here. That's going to be a little long for him, so I'm going to take that up. All right, so all that should be pretty good, and we're going to move to the other side of the horse now.